you can control your narrative. Welcome back. In today's video, we're going to talk about TroyZanko, or as many on the internet know him, LessWatson, a carbon copy or a copycat of Wes Watson. And stay tuned till the very end of the video and find out why TroyZanko is no longer on the internet. And now let's continue with the video.
Effective way to lose weight and get in shape. Stop feeding your face hole all that garbage and do your push-ups. That's your PSA today. You're welcome. Bow chicka wow wow.
Now, for those of you unaware, LessWatson is no longer around because he actually deleted his Instagram account after enduring a constant gadooshing that lasted for months. LessWatson was another wannabe alpha male and Wes Watson clone. He prided himself on being this incredibly macho tough guy who wasn't scared or intimidated by anyone, and would post these little training videos of himself, which he also ended up getting made fun of.
Did I rip that 405 or what? Did your boy rip that 405?
He would tell us these little tall tales about himself, often bringing up how he would get stopped in public just for people to tell him how jacked he is.
Got in the truck with my contractor this morning. He had to show me another job, and he said, "Damn, I wouldn't want to run into you in an open field." I said, "Yeah, I wouldn't either."
Now we have TroyZanko trying to be like a personal trainer, trying to give out health advice, but he comes off as arrogant. I would never go to a personal trainer that would be like this. That's the problem with these online gurus. They act too arrogant, like they have all the answers, or they're like better than you sometimes. And I think that's one of the failures of these guys. They're not humble, and for me, I think people should be humble. If you like this video, then give it a thumbs up. It helps with the channel. And subscribe. Leave a comment. Do you think TroyZanko is original, or do you think he's just a copycat of all the other alpha males? Let me know in the comments. And now let's continue with the video.
This lady at the convenience store got my water and my coffee and walked up to the counter. She said, "Damn, you're jacked AF." Use that as an opportunity, introduce her to my program and show her, some of the other things that I'm also doing in life and some of the things that I overcome.
So for today's video, we're going to take it easy and just laugh at Les Watson's insanity and reminisce about what has become one of the most beloved alpha males we've ever had the pleasure of covering. And just really quickly, if you're enjoying this video so far, please consider giving us a like and a subscribe. It really helps the channel grow, and it means so much knowing that you guys are enjoying the content.
Saturday night, I used to be shooting, smoking at a house, shooting, getting drunk at a bar, watching or calling up some just a walking dead man for years. Now look at me. Just left the gym, home, gonna eat healthy, gonna study for the rest of the night because I just like being smart.
What we should do is try to be unique. All these alpha males come off as carbon copies, like they're just trying to copy other people. That's what we should do, is be genuine, be unique, and be ourselves instead of trying to copy a friend or someone else. Let people know who you are instead of trying to copy someone else, a mentor. But be yourself and let people know who you are. But as you can tell, he is trying to copy Wes Watson, just like a lot of these other alpha males, just because Wes Watson had some form of success. That's why they're trying to copy it. But let people know who you are, or you're going to be mocked. Like people are mocking, or were mocking this guy before he left the internet. So that's one thing we can learn, is be ourselves. Don't try to be someone else, or we will probably be made fun of. That's what I try to do on this content. Make it my own, like the personal development, self-improvement version, because people were telling me that that's a unique take. that's what a lot of content creators were saying. That's the word they use, and I just want to do it a little different than them. Instead of just bashing these guys, but put a little personal development, self-improvement spin on what we can learn from these guys.
You can learn a lot from an 8th grade dropout. I have a successful tree business. It's a little bit slower this time of year. I take advantage of it and get in some extra gym and study time. You could learn a lot from an 8th grade dropout. Mentorship program, growing, jump on board, guide you into a new way of life.
No.
So this was Les Watson's go-to shtick, who would tell these little humble brag stories about himself and how he used to be a crackhead and a predator and all that good stuff. He would often use it as his selling point, stating that we all need someone like him to turn our lives around, seeing as he did it himself. He would often refer to himself as a rich entrepreneur who ran a successful company. But what he failed to mention though was that this wasn't his company. It was already an incredibly successful company that his dad ran and eventually gave to Troy here. And
These alpha males have some kind of rags to riches story or some kind of problematic past. Now we have Les Watson saying that he was an 8th grade dropout, as well as all the drugs and all the stuff he has, but they always have some past. But now he's saying that he has a successful company, that he's running a successful company. But as MudPit pulls out, that we know that his company was given to him by his dad. And that's the problem with a lot of these alpha males. You find out the truth about them, maybe like Vincent Fisher, Ben Azole, or King Azole. They all have rich parents. Even Wes Watson. Wes Watson's parents, or his mom, was on a video of his and said they've been to Hawaii, and Wes Watson tries to tell her, we only been to Hawaii once. We're a middle income family, which I think they were a little bit more of a middle high class family. But he's trying to come off as he had a broke past, but he was a surfer, a snowboarder. But those boards, a surfboard and snowboards, are expensive. So they had some money, but they just want to come off as a rags to riches kind of story. So that's the problem with these alpha males. They don't tell you the whole story. They just give you a kind of like an 8 Mile movie kind of plot line so you can join in. So they can try to relate. That's why they're irrelatable, because they're just too fake. And that's the problem with these alpha males. That's why they think we can all afford to pay like $40,000 for a yearly program.
Don't want to hear that. Don't want to hear how a man went from being incarcerated, a drug addict, to being a predator and destroying the lives of multiple people. How I went from that to this. They don't want to know that path.
And if you're seeing a lot of similarities to our old mate Wesley Watson, it's because Les Watson here was actively impersonating Wesley while pretending he had no idea who we were talking about. Images started to surface that clearly depict Wes and Les hanging out, and as it later turned out, Les was spending thousands of dollars on Wes's coaching. But no, he never admitted to it, and kept reacting to everything people were saying about it. And dude, I promise you, it was some of the funniest content you would have ever seen.
Telling lies and spreading rumors about your boy all over the internet and making false comparisons to me and other men. Why don't you check the age of these men? I'm 56. I've always been a go-hard dude. You just never heard of me before.
The sad part about Les Watson, TroyZanko, was he was only a carbon copy of Wes Watson, or a copycat of Wes Watson, acting like he didn't know who Wes Watson was. But when everyone knew that he was on Wes Watson's program from the lives they did, there was like pictures and videos of these guys hanging out, but he was trying to portray people as dumb. That's why they started to really go after this guy online with their comments. But that's the problem. When you're not unique, people are going to say you're a copycat of someone else. Whether it's your friend, whether it's someone online, whether you're trying to just basically copy someone else. So that's the thing we can be, is unique. Let's be unique, because sometimes maybe someone else is getting some smoke online or at school or somewhere else in life. We shouldn't just blindly follow someone, and we should be ourselves, be original. And whether it's making your own content, there's a guy named Ben Wise. People say he's a copycat of Bubba, and he gets some smoke for copying some of the stuff Bubba does. But that's why we should always be unique in whatever we're doing, whether it's content, whether it's just our personality. Let people know who you are, and so you're not made fun of, and you're not ever heard from, maybe online. But that way you don't have to get hurt, you don't have to get offended, and people will like you better. And if they don't like you, at least you're being your true self. So that's what we can do and learn from this guy who was a follower of Wes Watson, who followed on his online courses. And it's sad that he's no longer online anymore because people made fun of him so much. But only you can control who you are, and only you can control your narrative. Check out MudPit's video, his channel, and everybody stay awesome, and let MudPit know that the Frugal Cyborg sent you.
That the reason people were going after him is because they were envious of him, which was obviously about as much of a stretch as you can imagine. Les couldn't see the funny side in any of it, as it turns out. He would frequently laugh and smile through it all, but unfortunately took himself way too seriously to take a step back and laugh at the whole situation. And that would ultimately be the beginning of the end for Grandpa Watson.
See, other men can't do what I do. That's what makes me so different, so rare, so unique, such an oddity in my space, because I'm fearless. I say it the way I want to say it, and other men aren't made of the right kind of metal to handle the attacks that come at me, and handle the adversity, and handle the spies that come at me to spy me out, to approach me with sincerity. Like, they want to know something about me in my program, and they're just